Hello, my name is Vince, and I am making Aurora Heights, which is a game where you control a small star and you need to return to the sky. It's a small open world and climbing game, and there's no combat involved. The focus here is precision and energy control. Your character has this energy circle and you use it to climb, just like Zelda for example. The energy is consumed during climbing, when you move and also when you jump. If you don't manage your energy well, you fall and you need to treasure. Everything is recharged when you return to the ground. So you keep going up, manage your energy, sometimes you fall, and you need to retry. You keep repeating this cycle until you finally succeed and return to the sky. That's it, that's the premise of my game. Is it enough to provide some fun? Honestly, for my game, I don't know. But there's another game in which the premise is very similar, Celeste. Oh boy, I love this game. It's the main reason on why I decided to do this. There's something about Celeste that makes me very happy and addicted to it. In Celeste you jump, you climb, and you have a dash. Oh, and you also have energy, but it's not a circle, it's her hair and her body. When you're almost out of energy, she starts to blink, and when you dash, her hair turns blue. So you need to keep jumping, climbing, and dashing through different levels, and each level provides different threats, like spikes, weird black stuff, fire, ghosts, or different level mechanics. Am I trying to emulate Celeste in 3D? Definitely no, because 1, I can't. I don't have the expertise. I'm a solo developer. I cannot create good stories. Celeste has a good one, and a bunch of other things that make Celeste unique. Second, this is my first game. I would just create, well, something far inferior compared to it. Anyway, but there's something I'm trying to emulate from Celeste. The feeling of it. The feeling of joy after you keep falling over and over again on the same spot and you finally succeed. I lost the count of how many times I died in that game. Actually, the game saves it for you to remember how miserable you are. So yeah, Aurora Heights is difficult, and it becomes more difficult as you progress. But it is an exploration game as well, because I'm hiding some collectibles, keys, and other things. And then I thought, well, I'm creating a small island and it's open to exploration, and that implies you can revisit previous areas to get collectibles. But if my game is difficult, isn't that going to stop people to explore? I mean, why would they return to suffer again? And then the skills idea came in, more specifically movement skills. My game doesn't have combat, it's pure movement. So it makes sense to have those, right? It gives the player a sense of progress, it makes previous areas easier to explore, and it's another layer of mechanic that I can use on more advanced levels, right? Then let me show you what I got and what I will be able to find. I wanted a forward dash. You know, like in Hollow Knight, where you have a skill that you can use like to go forward, on ground or air. I wanted the same thing. But I thought, which movement can I use to represent this dash? I started to search for real-life movements and saw this image. That's it, cartwheel. Okay, I like it. Then the cartwheel skill was born. It just goes forward, you can use it only once on air, and it recovers when you reach the ground. And in the ground, you can use it forever. Great! This skill alone gives me a lot of flexibility to create more challenging areas. I can force you, the player, to use that skill on air to reach another point. And it's also unforgiving, because, well, there's no point of return. If you use it while jumping, whoops, that's it. Can't climb anymore, can't return to the wall, hit or miss. And as I learned with Celeste, the checkpoint is always nearby. You don't need to climb for another 1 minute to fail in the same spot again and again. You will quit the game. I don't want that. I want the feeling of one more try, one more try, one more try. I'm close, I did it! Oh, checkpoint, I'm safe. It's joy and relief at the same time. This skill was a game changer for me because I could do another thing as well. Block and unblock areas based on skills. On some games, more specifically on Metroidvanias like Hollow Knight or Ori, you can see some areas, but you can't access them. You know you need to learn some skill to go there. I can do the same with cartwheel. How? I can increase the gaps between obstacles, so in some areas, you will see places you should be able to reach. But you can't, because you need something else. And once you learn cartwheel, oh, okay, now I can use this over there. Progression, a new area appears. Then my mind started to spin. Okay. Which skills could I create with the following metrics? Purely movement, because my game doesn't have combat. Facilitates the exploration of previous areas. I could create more challenging areas, and they should be simple to use. Then the second skill was born. What if I create obstacles that cannot be reached by just climbing? I mean, what if the only solution is to go upwards? When I look at this image, the Pirouette was born. And now we have this. Now I can do the same stuff as the cartwheel. Look at the movements that you can achieve by doing both at the same time. I love it, especially together with the climbing and energy mechanics. But there's a drawback on this. Larger areas in scope. Larger areas. This is straightforward. Before adding movement skills, the areas could be smaller, because your jump distance set the limits for how far you could go. With the new movement skills, you can cover much greater distance, so I have to build larger areas. And why is this a drawback? Well, because as a developer, I have to avoid creating big, empty spaces. Filling those spaces with content takes time, and I still need to ship the game. Which leads me to my second point. Scope. Everything in game development is hard. I mean, really hard, from every angle. Let's use the cartwheel skill as an example. You need to design the rules. Can the player use it on the ground, in mid-air, or both? Which button do they press? Do they have to hold it? And does the skill reset when they land? Cool, we have the rules, now let's implement the code. How the hell to do it? Bugs and bugs. It breaks the game. Hours and hours of trial and error. It's working. Now, how does it should look like? I mean, we need a player animation. How to animate? I'm not an animator, so I need to figure this out. Now, particles. Visual effects. Every game has particles, right? The skill should have particles. How to create particles? Or more precisely, how to do good enough particles? How to make the particles to follow the player hand or player head? And after all of this, is it done? No. You also need to adjust the numbers. That is the balance and polishing part. Skills too strong or too weak, movements not good, particles are way too bright, not matching the color scheme, or not balanced enough. So larger areas and scope both relates to time. The more stuff I add, more time to plan, implement, test, adjust, and the list goes on. And I really want to release the demo as soon as possible so you can experiment this as well. And by the way, the game is already working with keyboard and controller support, and you can change the bindings. Let's talk about dates. The demo will be launching this year. Yeah, somewhere this year, 2025, on Steam. Actually, the Steam page is already up. You can wishlist right now. Just search for Aurora Heights or click on the Steam link that I added on the description below. What am I planning to the demo? Well, I'm planning to include a few areas, and each one teaches you something different. It will include the training grounds, which is an area you just learn the basic controls like you jump, the climb, the energy control, and wall jump. There's no way to die in here. Oh, and you really need to go through it because this area is locked by a door and you need a key. Then we have the second area in which you can start to fail a lot, let's put it this way. It includes a lot of red spikes and of course they're not friendly. The third area is special. You will learn how to recover your energy without touching the ground. It's also very dark, so you will only see threats when you are close to them. The rest, well, I won't spoil everything. It's best to play the demo once it's ready so you can be surprised. And I will keep sharing progress and other cool stuff on this channel, so eventually you will get some spoilers. There are a lot of ideas that I'd like to show here, like how I created the main character, Hoshi, the little star, how I'm creating the levels, the obstacles, textures and materials, the funny bugs. They're always funny to watch, but sometimes a pain to fix. The before and after of Aurora Heights, because, well, I started to make it, like this project, in the beginning of 2024, I think, and a lot of things happened, like I changed a lot of stuff. Anyway, and I'll definitely tweak and add features based on your feedback, because, well, this game started entirely in my head, and once you share a project with the public, beautiful things happen. Ideas I would never consider it start popping up, and if there is enough to implement, I mean. And I want to make this game with you. I want everyone to have as much as fun as I'm having right now. So you can give suggestions on how to improve, report bugs, give enemy ideas. Yeah, we don't have combat, but we have enemies. So you can test it, test the climbing, the skills, the keyboard and controller support, everything. That's it for now, guys. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.